Hello everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about the concept of how do I increase my cardio for Jiu-Jitsu. Anybody that's done Jiu-Jitsu for even one class, we all know what's the number one killer is endurance. Okay? Endurance is king in martial arts, especially in Jiu-Jitsu. What's the difference between a beginner and an advanced person in Jiu-Jitsu? Well, for one, they feel like they're predicting every single move that you're doing. It feels like you're grappling against a wizard. But for two, one of the biggest differences is you feel like you're getting exhausted much faster than they are. So what ends up happening? The student goes, you know what? Jiu-Jitsu isn't for me yet. I need to get in shape before I do Jiu-Jitsu. And they go and they do a bunch of running, swimming, hiking, working out, CrossFit. They do all these activities to increase their endurance, but they're not fixing the problem. They come back to class, same thing happens. And you know what? After that, Jiu-Jitsu is not for me. I'm just going to injure myself, okay? That's another common thing is injuries, all right? So how do we actually increase our cardio for BJJ? I'm going to give you guys a couple tips here that will immediately help your game, all right? The number one tip, and you've probably heard this before, is the more mat time will increase your cardio. This is true, but it's not as simple as that, all right? If I just spend countless hours on the mat, I'm gonna end up injuring myself, I'm gonna end up hurting myself, I'm gonna end up frustrated. So we need to have a game plan for how we're gonna be able to do that. All right, let's look at a step-by-step game plan of how we can increase our mat time and how we can get better cardio in Jiu-Jitsu. All right, and I'm going to break this down between a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced person. All right, a couple things that go across the board. All right, you need to reduce the tension in your body. If you're tense and you're tight, I've seen this in beginners, intermediate, and advanced people. This will never, you're never going to truly reach your potential. You may get good, but you're not going to reach your potential of where your cardio can actually achieve. You need to reduce that tension in your body, and there's multiple ways to do that. One common thing I do when I get on the mats is I get on the mat, I stretch a little bit, I start out slow, I work on my breathing, I work on reducing the tension from the top of my body all the way to the bottom. All right, when I come out, I want to stay loose. Remember Michael Phelps used to do this exercise. A lot of why he's doing that is to reduce the tension in his body. For swimming, you must be loose. Imagine if you tried to swim and you're all tense. You're going to drown, right? Jiu-Jitsu is the same exact way. If you're tense when you're moving, making grips, no gi, you're making grips here, you're going to get tired, guaranteed. All right, so let's dive into the beginner, intermediate, and advanced, the steps we need to take to increase our cardio. All right, the biggest mistake I see for beginners, their cardio in Jiu-Jitsu, is they do what I call the death grip. All right, every single grip they make, it wants to be their last grip. They feel like if you break their grip, they're less of a man. They feel like if you break their grip, they're going to immediately get submitted, okay? This is not the case, right? You have to release those grips, all right? Make a strong grip, but if someone breaks it, be prepared to go to the next step, all right? If you make a strong grip on their collar, for example, and they break that grip, maybe you wanted to go for a collar choke or a scissor sweep, they break that grip, immediately take that hand that just got your grip broken and switch it to a sleeve, switch it to frame to make space. You have to be able to know where to go next, all right? And even if you don't know where to go next, don't hold on to it so tight that you use all your energy on it, okay? So number one, death grips. Number two is unconscious holding of the breath, all right? So this may seem so simple. When I went to coach my first tournament, all my students, they made fun of me because all I would say is just breathe, guys, just breathe. That's all I'd be yelling from the sideline. They're like looking for technical advice. All I'm saying is just breathe. When you first start doing jiu-jitsu, and even when you first start going to compete especially, you unconsciously hold on to your breath. It's almost like you're doing a 1 rep bench max. This is going to lead to more death grips and very fast draining of the energy. Okay, so you must have a relaxed breathing. That's going to help you reduce tension in your body. It's going to help you last much longer through your rolls. Okay, so beginner, think about those death grips. You cannot have death grips. Be ready to switch your grips. And number 2, breathe throughout the process. Really be mindful about your unconscious breathing. Once you're mindful of it for a few training sessions, it should come more naturally. Eventually, you will not have to think about it. Okay, number 2, intermediate grapplers. All right, I talk about something called the Floyd Mayweather method. Floyd Mayweather, if you watch some of his open workouts, he starts out incredibly slow. He starts out hitting the heavy bag. You're almost thinking he's joking. All right, this is a very important concept. As he progresses through the workout, he gets harder. By the end of the workout, he's full bore, okay? So I do an incremental increase throughout my workout. So come out, do a nice warm-up. Even in your warm-up, you don't start out doing the hardest warm-up exercise. You start out slow. It's a gradual build-up. You do your stretching. You do your dynamic warm-up. You start going in. You start doing your drills. And your drills, you're not using all your effort. The way you drill is so important. If I'm drilling with all of my effort, I'm pouring sweat when I'm drilling, I'm not going to flow when I get to the match. It's okay to sweat, but be sweating because of movement, because of fluid movement. All right, our goal is to become fluid during our drills and during our rolls. So the Floyd Mayweather method, all right? So you must be able to incrementally increase your workout. All right, the next very, very important concept of increasing your cardio for an intermediate grappler is to be able to flow roll, okay? So you've probably heard this 1,000 times. You got to be able to flow. You got to be able to flow. This really is an important thing, but how you do it is very interesting. And I'll make a video on, we'll actually see how to flow roll. But the most important thing about being able to do a flow roll is have no ego, okay? So a flow roll is an exchange of positions. Neither one of us are trying to really win the roll, but I need to have a good partner that knows what he's doing. This is why I say it's for an intermediate grappler. And we're exchanging positions. Maybe I do a De La Riva sweep or a scissor sweep. I come on top, I start passing a little bit. I let the person recover into their guard. They get into their lasso, for example. He sweeps me. Maybe he comes on top, he passes. I get in side control, I escape, I get back to half guard. I do a sweep from half guard. We're exchanging positions. Okay, your goal here is to do as many positions, as many movements as possible, but at the same time, you don't want to make it awkward and clunky, all right? This is a very hard thing to do, and it takes time, but it is something worthwhile doing. And it's great to warm up with a flow roll. Once again, Floyd Mayweather method, incrementally increasing, warm up with a flow roll, you get your positions in mind, and then you start rolling afterwards, okay? So that's for an intermediate grappler, Floyd Mayweather method, and flow rolling, okay? Finally, for an advanced grappler, okay? This is actually probably the hardest person to break. This is probably the hardest person to increase their cardio, is you advanced grapplers out there. The number one reason why is the ego. Okay, everybody's thinking in Jiu-Jitsu, oh, I thought Jiu-Jitsu kills your ego. It does in a way, but it also increases your ego in a way. You get set in your habits. All right, you feel like you should beat everybody. You feel like you should be the top dog in the gym. This is the worst mindset you can have. I call it the white belt mindset. You need to have a white belt mindset every time you step in the gym. You need to be ready to learn. The best grapplers I've ever went against were all guys who came in extremely eager to learn, all right? Extremely eager to learn, extremely eager to improve. The only way to do that is to have that white belt mindset. You don't know everything, okay? So number one is kill the ego. That's going to allow you to do some interesting things, okay? The roles for you advanced grapplers need to turn into drills, especially with lower level guys, okay? So what do I mean by that? You need to roll with the lower level guys in your gym, because for one, it's going to help them, and for two, it's going to help you develop your moves as drills. But here's the key: you cannot use strength. Okay, so if you're implementing, for example, I've been working on my omoplatas and berimbolos. Okay, so as I'm drilling as I'm working these techniques against lower level opponents, I'm trying to hit these moves without strength. If they start addressing me, even if they're doing something that's technically incorrect, but it's stopping what I'm doing, I'll try to find another avenue that takes less strength. Okay, so if I just try to force, of course I can force my move and probably get into it, but that's not our goal. We need to kill our ego and find out that we do not have all the answers. We got to figure out technical ways and ways with less strength to get there. Trust me, when you do this for a while, for an extended period of time, against lower level grapplers, and you can turn your rolls into drills, you will see a tremendous increase in not only your technical proficiency, but also leaps and bounds of better cardio. Okay, so let's wrap it up. All right, ways to increase cardio in Jiu-Jitsu. Ultimately, what it boils down to, guys, is we need more mat time. We need to do more Jiu-Jitsu. And the way of doing this is through the ways we talked about in this video. Reducing our tension, not holding on to grips, being able to breathe naturally throughout the rolls, increasing your workouts incrementally, aka the Floyd Mayweather method, being able to flow roll, all right, especially your first couple rolls, flow roll into it. Then, for an advanced person, being able to turn your rolls into drilling, okay? You're always trying to find the most efficient way, the way with the least amount of strength to hit your positions, okay? Hope this video helps, guys. I think this really will help you increase your cardio in Jiu-Jitsu. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and in the comments below, let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see in the future? If you have any questions, I'll be in the comments section. Hit me up. Os.